Yeah, so I think I got all my boogers out. I think I'm good. I think we're clean in the
Oh, did
nose.
it get in your mustache?
Oh, dude, it does get in my mustache sometimes, but that's not the worst part of the mustache. The worst part of the mustache is sometimes I like wake up and will have drooled all over my pillow, and my mustache will be like soaking wet and fucking cold from the fan. Yeah, that's the worst
Ugh.
part. Yeah, yeah, can confirm.
Disgusting.
It is disgusting. You're correct.
And then you probably asked Jillian for a kiss, and she's like, "Wash your fucking face."
No, she asks me for a kiss. Okay, that's how that goes.
Is she well?
I mean, as well as ever, I guess. You know, what are you gonna do? What we're like 8 months away from being done with school. For her,
Well, that's badass.
Nice.
yeah. I'm actually looking forward to it because I don't know if you guys saw this the other day. Um, I was looking at our renewal for health insurance this year, and it's going up. Our premium is going up by over 30%, and they're increasing our max out of pocket, which is pretty much all our plans are good for. So we might not have health insurance until she gets it from the job.
Bro, just gonna throw this out there. I'm sure there's some health insurance licensed person listening to this screaming at me, but honestly, what I did for a good little while was I just opened up a HELOC line and it was just there if I needed it, if there was something emergency that pops up. It was like, why am I going to pay for me and two kids? Why am I going to pay $1,500 a month for like a $12,000 deductible? Like
Wow.
that didn't make any damn sense whenever I could just go, hey, I have a line of credit and if I need it, it's there. If I don't, whatever.
I will
Well,
declare
I just
bankruptcy.
got the medical group that we go through. They sent just like they're doing a new thing where there's like people without insurance. Here's their cash price for like lab, X-ray, and I'm looking at the price and I'm like, wait a minute, I think I paid that after my it runs my insurance. So why am I even paying for and running insurance when I could pay cash?
So when I had to go, like when I had to throw the big dog off of the middle dog, and I like dislocated my finger and I had to go in and get an injection in it, it was less expensive for me to pay the cash pay price than it would have been for my copay with insurance. Just like my ADHD meds, because my insurance requires me to go through a specific pharmacy. Um, I get brand name because they're always out of the off name Vyvanse, the generic. Can't find it, and it's $70 through the private pharmacy. With my insurance, it's around $240 a month.
It's about right.
So I'm like,
Sounds about right.
like, as long as I don't fucking go to the ER or get surgery, probably okay.
Yeah, I decided, oh, you know what? I'm starting to push 30. It'd be kind of cool to, or not push 30. I'm starting to push 40.
I was
Geez, I
like, you're
wish
only 30? Dear God.
I look horrible if I was only
I was
30.
gonna say, I was like, yes, this is what I needed in my day. I feel better about myself.
Well, I decided, just for shits and giggles, because also like my paternal grandfather dropped dead of a massive heart attack at 55. Like, let me go get the coronary artery calcium score done. And whenever I went to hand the woman my insurance card, she was like, hang on, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. I was like, why? And she goes, well, because since you're a cash pay patient, wink, wink, the test is $100. But the best insurance, if you have the absolute best policy that will work with, you would still be out of pocket $200.
Make it make sense. Like,
I was
I
like,
don't
who the fuck?
why we don't I mean, people are gonna hate you probably, but like universal healthcare sounds better and better when you talk about things like this because it doesn't make sense. It's like I don't get what's happening.
Oh, I
So
mean,
the thing that blows my mind is how is it that teeth are not considered a part of the body? Like, why is dental insurance a separate thing? Or like your eyes? Like, why is it separate just for this? Like, next thing you know,
That's why.
oh, next thing you know, ENTs are going to be like, well, hey, ears are different too, so you got an ear infection. Sorry, kid.
I don't know, man, because I feel like they normally cover what's it when you get your balls clipped?
The vasectomy.
The vasectomy.
Vasectomy?
Like they'll cover doing it, but yeah, they won't cover like if I need a fucking root canal so that my brain doesn't get an infection with my teeth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, because the insurance company, they know they're going to save money. If you can't have a child, you're not going to have a sick child. You're not going to have a delivery. There's things that they are not paying for because you're not going to have any children. So
Oh
for
yeah.
them, it saves them money. If you save your tooth, what's it do for them?
Well, if you think about it in that same aspect, what's going to be more expensive, paying for that root canal to get my tooth replaced or whatever, or paying for the massive hospital bill of me dying from that
I
brain
mean,
infection?
but will they pay it? Or will they say, we're not paying it because you had a pre-existing condition?
Can't do that anymore. But also, it won't be my problem because I'm probably going to die.
Right, right.
I mean, we're all
So
going
I
to
don't
die.
know. I'm not in the rooms of the meetings that decide these things, but
So
common sense, when you just talk about it, doesn't make sense.
we went to so we got a new dental plan through Nikki's job, and this is like the fourth new dentist that I've gone to in the last 10 years where they try to push a fucking deep cleaning on you. And I'm like,
Every fucking time. Every time. Like the
every
deep gum
time.
cleaning shit. Yeah.
I just get like the standard, like I just get my teeth cleaned. I've never heard of like an upgrade.
Oh, the deep cleaning is not covered by any insurance policy, but they
What does
always
it
try to
entail?
upsell you. So
Some
apparently they
shit.
use some type of laser or some shit that I'm like, you're putting lasers in my mouth. Calm down, Doctor Evil.
My teeth look great and I just get the standard.
All right. So
Never been offered an upgrade.
to be fair, I can't say every time because I've been to the dentist once in the past 20 years, and that was just to get my wisdom teeth removed.
You're supposed to get your teeth cleaned every 6 months.
That dude, my teeth are doing. I'm doing just fine. Yeah. When I was having headaches that wake me up in the middle of the night, I was like, "Oh shit, something's fucked up here." But otherwise, I'm
Yeah,
good.
like, maybe they would have caught it if you got your routine cleanings. We'll
No,
never
no, that
know.
was just wisdom teeth. They were just impacting, you know. Shit happens.
Yeah, well, if you would have get
Fuckers.
your routine, they probably been like, "Hey, Steven,"
Well, now if he gets it
because
done,
I
he's
still
probably gonna
have
be
mine,
like,
but I get to keep them because I can probably get them cleaned. Not everybody can like do that.
No, no, no. It wasn't about them being dirty. They were growing this way into my other teeth. So they were impacting them and fucking my life up.
did you try unplugging them and plugging them back in?
They did unplug them. Yes, I did not plug them back in. They kept
Yeah.
them. They didn't even
Oh,
give me the plug.
because you've not met the deductible to plug them back
Mm,
in.
They kept
yeah.
your teeth.
I think it was like $1,200 to get them taken out in the office. It was weird. You could hear the crunching like in your brain because it's like
Yeah, I
inside the
had a
back of your
tooth
head.
pulled
Yeah.
in the front. I had too many teeth. You wouldn't know it now, but these two laid on top of each other, and I had a one that was just shoved behind the other. So they're like, let's just.
Actually, I did know that. Jake has said on many different occasions that you have way too much teeth.
I have way too many teeth. It's not line. That was I walked into that.
God, I hate who I am.
You know, at times I too hate who you are. I don't not saying like right now, but in general.
I mean, it's fair. I'm a pain in the ass. Um, like in a okay way, not a good way, not a bad. It's okay.
Not like a hemorrhoid way.
Yeah, Jake just made popcorn because I can smell it, and I can't eat it because I'm on a podcast.
Mm.
Now it's
I
smelling like a movie
I
theater.
I hate popcorn. Unpopular opinion. It gets stuck between my teeth every time.
Nothing tastes like
And
warm kettle corn.
no, every time it gets stuck between my teeth. And on the topic of dentists, so whenever I went to have my cleaning done, I was like, they always ask the question, do you regularly floss? I'm like, look, I floss what I can get to. I have incredibly tight between the teeth. And they're like, everybody says that. She literally broke the fucking floss trying to get back in here. I was like,
A water
told her,
pick is the way to go. I too have tight knit teeth, and the water pick push it right out of there. Not
I
that expensive.
I've got the water pick and it's still like these back ones here, like
Against
because I
rock.
still have the wisdom teeth on the right side. uh, Doesn't do anything. I'm like, man, I can just feel there's still something in there.
Well, now that everybody knows all of our dental hygiene,
Yeah. And
Yay.
side note, you should leave. You shouldn't wash and rinse your mouth out right away. You should leave the toothpaste or whatever mouthwash stuff in there so that the fluoride can actually get into the teeth a little bit better and
I
have more
thought you were
time to
talking them
absorb.
not to clean their teeth. I was like,
No,
"Stop,
no,
stop."
clean your teeth. Come
You
on,
got
no
to
one
put
wants ass mouth.
no, put the string of floss in there and then you got to leave it for 5 minutes on every tooth.
Yeah. What? What? All right. All right.
Just leave it hanging out like a little rat tail, like a cat.
This has turned.
It has, which is great though, because I feel like when you read the title, people are like, "Oh shit, throwing hands, the fight has begun. What the fuck are they gonna say?" I don't know. I have no fucking clue. I don't know. I don't know that person. They're a random listener. I don't know where they're from.
Oh, your voice, like, had a little, like, did you
Yeah,
hear
that
it?
was a random listener. I don't know anything about them.
I would describe it as broadish, like British, Scottish, broadish.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna talk about fucking transformation challenges today. Shamformation
about it.
challenge was like a fucking brilliant play on that one, though. I gotta say, I'm real
Yeah.
proud of that. Somebody's gonna fucking hate it. A lot.
You mark it real good.
Multiple people will hate it, but fucking whatever.
Or will their pocketbooks hate it?
I don't. Well, I don't think I have enough pull, or we're anywhere near popular enough to make that kind of impact on anybody. But I mean, a boy can dream. God, I'm too old to be calling a boy anymore.
Okay, so transformation challenges. What are they? Why do we just adore them?
Let's let Phil
Yeah.
take the cake here. Let's let him take the reins, since Phil actually used to run one back in yonder days.
You
Yeah.
did, Gil.
Yes, I did. So the general concept of a transformation challenge is let's take people through a transformative journey, right? So we're trying to, in theory, take someone, especially with a health transformation, we're trying to take them from there are some ideal habits that you're not implementing right now that you just need a little bit of accountability, maybe a little bit of a community support behind you, because fitness journeys can be lonely as fuck, right? The idea behind them is let's try to get as many people as we can to start changing their life in the next however many days, right? 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 100 days, whatever. Let's set a timeline for it, and they will have transformed their lives in X amount of time. That's the theory. Now, in practicality, what ends up happening is a lot of serial dieting. And with the challenge that I used to spearhead, the initial inception of it was amazing. One of my favorite things was we would have people write in an essay just to put a story behind a picture. You know, there was lots of essays where I would have to take a break at times and just really feel the impact of what this has done for someone, where they finally took the time to say, I am worth putting some effort into. I am worth protecting my calendar. I am worth doing all of these things to achieve what I want to accomplish. There were a lot of these essays where, I mean, I would come close to freaking crying. There was a couple that full on made me grown ass man, like, stop what you're
Weep.
doing, feel for the spirit. Yes, just bare my soul, primal scream while crying. Not really, but the idea of, man, these people have made an impact. You know, this challenge has made an impact on these people's lives is what the original concept is. And I like to think that that's the idea behind all of these other ones, because there's hundreds, thousands of them out there, especially in the fitness space. But what ends up happening is, well, hey, we did one and look at all this money that came in. Okay, let's not worry so much about the essay because people tend to be visual, not readers. You know, we're inching closer and closer to the future of idiocracy day by day, and nobody wants to actually take the time to read.
It's because they want
So,
what plants crave.
Brondo, it has electrolytes.
Water and sun?
Water, like from the toilet?
You said what plants crave. They crave water and sun.
No,
Oh,
they crave
you
Brondo. It says so. It's what plants crave.
has electrolytes.
You were idiots.
This is literally the fucking scene in the movie.
When they're
I
sitting
don't know
there,
what you two were talking about, but right now I just think they're stupid, or I can't tell if I'm stupid and didn't get something.
look,
I'm unsure.
you know what? There's a show that you would probably love. It's called Ow My Balls. America's
It
number one
does sound
TV
right up
show.
my alley, actually.
So you should watch the movie
Yes.
Idiocracy. It's a little bit older, but then you'll understand.
10 out of 10. So the idea of a transformation challenge is let's make an impact in people's lives. Let's have people see their value potentially for the first time. But what ends up happening is, man, they bring in a lot of money. And then what ends up happening as well is a lot of money brought in a short amount of time. And generally, what also happens is people within that community that were just supporting each other, it's like, hey, I've formed friendships with other people that are in here. You
It's
know,
like bodybuilding shows.
yeah, it's like, hey, I want to stay in touch with these people. They understand what I just went through. I'd like to keep some accountability going. Man, it'd be cool if they did another one. And then the demand is there. Supply, demand. Hey, if you have time and the demand is there for a service that you offer, why isn't someone going to do it?
So why don't we like focus on, I think, and you hit on some of them, like, I think either the things that we feel are positive that can happen with them or that do happen with them, and or um, what people try and sell as the positives. And then we can kind of go from there. Because what I was always, and I've never really been a big fan of the transformation challenge stuff. It was never my cup of tea. I think when you were spearheading it, like the way that it was done, at least initially, I was like, I can deal. Okay. Um, but I think that the selling point is like, look how much change you can make in this relatively short amount of time.
That's the hook.
Yeah, it's
Right.
extremism.
Um, and some people like did make very significant changes and kept the weight off, like and continue to do well. But it is the absolute minority of people that took place. And so, yes, you can do something amazing. Yeah, you can do something amazing in a short amount of time. But I also like, okay, so we'll say some people did make some big changes there that I've seen and that I experienced. And I think one of the positives that you talked about that I think really is an actuality that I saw was people finding like social circles. The world is getting more and more lonely nowadays, right? It's easier and easier to stay in your home and to isolate and to be online and to just lurk through Reddits and to do all the things and the TikToks and all the other crap. And so it's one of those things where it's like, anything that we can do where we can find some sort of, I don't know, pack, whatever, social circle, I think is a great thing. Um, but it doesn't have to, and this is, I think it goes with, one of you guys is having a lot of background noise slash feedback, by the way.
My dog was just whining. I don't know if that was.
No, it's something else. But, there it is. It's good. We're good. I'm going to leave this in. Everybody else, you're welcome. Um, but
Yeah, I will.
it's like work, right? Like
Yeah,
you have work friends, and quite often your friends are who you work with. It's not, it is absolutely about convenience. It's the things that you do. Oh, I do this thing. So my friends also do this thing. And those are the people that I'm friends with. And so it gives you a little bit more of that like continuity and closeness to make those relationships, I think, easier when you have like forums and groups where you get to interact and kind of encourage and talk with one another.
yeah,
Yeah. See, now because, anybody listening who doesn't know, we all. Did you ever take any transformation challenge people, Steven?
Well, yeah. I mean, I had people,
Yeah. So
I
I
think,
still have
okay.
2 or 3, like, long-term clients that did it. They only did it once. I think they just kinda needed to dip their toe in fitness and, like, get back into it. So I think a really good thing is some people, they won't you're gonna have people in any scenario where they will do something and then they'll get addicted to it, or they don't quite change, so they'll keep doing a challenge, right? Because they did one, they did kind of good, but then they fell off, and they'll just keep doing them back to back with no overall change in the grand scheme of things. They're kind of where they were 2 years ago when they started doing them. But then you'll have somebody who will do one, and that's just the spark they needed to be like, ooh, either they started loving fitness again or they had never really been in it. And they're like, I really like this. Like, this is something I want to keep doing. And then maybe they get a coach, or maybe they just continue on their own doing some research, training, all of that. But I think my personal issue with a transformation style thing is that if you have them very close together, you are in turn kind of promoting crash dieting over and over again. That's my personal opinion on it. Just being actually like seeing it and being in it, where I would have I would get somebody sent to me like, hey, they're doing this challenge, you're going to guide them. Cool. Love to do it. I like helping people. But then they would do it. They weren't really all the way in it, kind of in and out, but it was relatively cheap, $50, $30. You're not out a lot if you don't follow this. But then they would kind of yo-yo back and forth, and then let's try it again. So then you just have these same people going in and out of trying to do something extreme because there's money on the line. When you have something dangled like, hey, if you follow this, it is, a lot more cardio than you're used to, more training, everything. But if you do it, you could get this. When
Yep.
relatively one person out of thousands is getting this dangled fruit. But it's enough where they'll kind of crash and try and they'll burn out. So then the next one comes around, they're like, ooh, that fruit's still there. They'll try real hard and burn out because you're not actually saying like, hey, we don't really care if you lose a bunch of weight. We just want to change your life. But most of the time, that's not what it's about. They need photos of an extreme before and after, because that's the only way that this money train keeps going, is if we have something to put in someone's face and say, hey, look what they did, when the majority of people are not going to be able to do that. And so I know for me, I participated for a while in helping people. And then I took a step back and said, hey, I feel like I'm helping promote crash dieting, an unhealthy relationship with diet, food, whatever. And so I chose to step away and not take any more people out of it for that reason. But and when I started on my own, I did one, not a transformation challenge, because I just don't like how that sounds. I think I was just anyway, so I did more of like fall into fitness challenge, like just get into it. It was made for people who had never really done anything, to get them into training, to get them into, and the reward, a winner per se was 2 or 3 months of free coaching. Like it wasn't something so extreme where they would try to crash diet to get, if you can get $10,000, you will do just about anything, especially in this economy. People will starve themselves. They will do extremes and they will put their health aside, because that can be life-changing money for some people.
Right. So I I love the community aspect of a transformation challenge. I love the idea of someone who, like you said, Kaylee, maybe they've never really done anything, or it's been since they were in college, it's been 10, 15, 20 years. Here is a clear cut path for you. Here is what to do, workout programs. There's meal plans. Here's a macro calculator. You know, here's all these resources, right? And like you said, it's a low investment. The dangling carrot is, well, you could win $5,000, $10,000, whatever, right? I love that there's motivation to it. I love that there's community. I love that there is some degree of guidance. You're not just kind of, oh, well, yeah, I kind of don't know what I'm doing in the gym. I'm just going to
And that
go do it.
depends, because not all of them have any real guidance. Like some of them, it's just like, or
Yeah,
just
there are
very
some
little.
people who challenge you. You just get a PDF print off and you're like, see you at the end of the challenge to see if you won.
Right. So the other thing that I really did enjoy about doing transformation challenges was when they're done right, you see what impact it can have on someone's life. I mean, there were so many people that part of starting one of these challenges is, okay, I'm going to stop drinking alcohol. Like millennials,
You like feeling, yeah.
we are the drunkest generation now.
I don't
You know
even
how many
drink.
bars
Fuck
are going to
you.
close once our generation grows up?
So
Like,
less people are drinking,
Yeah,
like
no, I agree,
nowadays.
especially through COVID.
yeah,
I think it's great.
but whenever you see somebody make that of like, man, I stopped drinking for 90 days and my sleep got better. I had better focus. It helped me to create a calorie deficit. Like I see the difference now. In their purest form, these are events that can help people truly transform their life. You know, um, I I remember reading this. It's like once you're, I'm just going to stay on the alcohol train for a second. Once you are 30 days sober, that is like the most sober that you can get. The difference of, okay, well, what's someone's level of sober in terms of like their BAC at 31 days versus at 300 days? It's identical. It's exactly the same. So I love that it can help people to break some habits, at least identify what are some roadblocks that they might have that maybe they didn't realize. How many people are like, man, kids go to bed and I have 2 glasses of wine. It
But
can
2
easily,
glasses is really like 3 glasses because they're heavy pours.
right.
I've never been a home drinker. I don't know that I've ever had a drink alone in my house.
So that used to be when I drank, I preferred to drink at my house alone. That
I mean,
doesn't
it's
sound
super
good at
for
all,
drunk.
but I
But I
fucking hated
preferred
people.
in my early 20s to dance on tables super drunk and then, I made it home.
I also did that in my 20s. Hold on. They put me on a bar
So
one time. I don't know why, but they
I was
On
fucking
gonna
let me
what?
go
say,
up there and dance on the bar.
Oh God, the amount of times I've done that are body shots. I'd like to say embarrassing, but it was so much fun. I don't regret any of it.
the the idea of breaking down a body shot now, like how many
I
people
would
have just go,
never now
"Ooh,"
drink anything off anyone's body. Like no. But
like
Germs!
imagine getting some
Alcohol
belly
kills
button
germs, you're
links.
fine.
been sweating for hours. Who wants to drink off my sweaty, salty body?
The
It's the
remember
masseuse that you're doing body shots off of.
the fucking like glittery body lotions and shit, and it's like, oh yeah, let's pour tequila in there.
YOLO. How'd we all make it out alive? Who knows?
Only because of our boots with the fur. Which did
I
you
had boots with
see?
the fur, but I was so poor. Couldn't afford
Did
them.
did you see that that's now like a real line? Who was that Florida or
Nelly?
I think it was Flo
T-Pain?
Rida.
Apple bottom jeans.
His name is Florida, actually.
Oh,
Flo
Florida.
Rida, Florida.
So he's actually releasing a boot with the fur. Nikki showed me. She was like, "Oh my god, my millennial heart is so happy right now."
He took too long. He missed the train.
I
I
mean, I
know
feel
he's like
like UGG
20 years
has
late.
been doing that.
Yeah. They're too hot for Florida, though.
Way
Yeah.
too hot.
So,
So
yeah. So, like,
the
it's cool, though, that even in something where, obviously everybody will find out that, like, we probably don't have the best opinion of something, there can still be positives, and it still can be a good thing for certain people,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah, 100%. But I think, and that's with anything, good or bad, I think
What about heroin?
uh, I mean, I
used to be
suppose that's always
prescribed, right?
bad. But I guess if you only do it once and you had a good time and you never do it again, was it bad? I don't know. I've
I
never
don't
done it.
know I have never once in my life heard of somebody doing heroin once. Just
Yeah, I
once.
don't.
Well,
I
wasn't that what like
luckily the crowds I've always been in, if anybody's ever been on heroin, I'm unaware of it. So
But you would know.
I just remember like all the Dare campaigns back in the 90s
right.
where it was like, yeah, don't do heroin. Yeah, Chris Farley did it one time and he died. And it's like,
Remember the dare dances? Those were the best.
I
Oh,
was always working.
yeah,
Working.
I
How
never
could you
did
be
any of that.
working? They were when we were in middle school.
Small family business. If I
Oh,
wasn't doing homework or at football practice, I was work like I worked 50-hour weeks my spring break. I did not enjoy
yeah.
spring
I
breaks.
was just an unattended child, so I think I just walked to them to my school.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
By the
I
way,
wish I
train
could
spotting,
flash.
not about trains. It's about heroin and
What is
heroin
it?
addicts. Train spotting.
Train fun. Never heard of it.
Another good
Never.
movie you should watch. It's fucking depressing. It's so bad. But yeah.
I look forward to
But,
being
but
watched.
let's be real. Heroin is also painkillers for surgeries and stuff.
So speaking of heroin, this will lead me into where I was going. I think the thing that becomes an issue is when money received for something becomes like heroin, an addiction, and then I think things can turn, right? Because when you can get a lot of money, and really this is transformation challenge, this is coaching. We've seen people spiral, like Brittany Dawn,
Yeah, we
where
have.
you
She
get a
wasn't the
bunch of
only one. There
money.
was that other guy too out in California that was like doing it where he was having somebody else writing his programs
Yeah,
and
so
she ended up letting everybody know. And that was a whole fucking thing too.
yeah, so I think when there's money involved, and I think too, stepping back and realizing sometimes that's on the consumer too. Like if you find yourself perpetually getting into like a transformation challenge, and not only like paying people's works do these too. Like I have clients who are like, hey, we're doing a stepping or a walking challenge or whatever it is. Obviously usually those, if they pay, is going to charity, so it's very, very different. I think everyone I've ever been involved in that regard, work wise, they usually like do a donation, or like everybody wins the little pot, right? So there's nobody's making money, it's being split evenly. Can you imagine on these big scale transformation challenges if they took no money and just split the pot for our winners?
Like in the office.
You'd be so.
It's
I mean, some
well,
of those challenges put out a lot of money. Like I'm pretty sure like the number one for meetings, I'm pretty sure they pay out quite a bit of money for theirs.
mhm.
Yeah, I
the
think so, because they end up gaining, yeah. But I think, it's a good gateway into fitness, and like I said, some of that is on a consumer too, because it's just like bodybuilding, where somebody will do like one show, they kind of get addicted to it, and then they just keep doing it and they don't stop, even though it's getting unhealthy. They don't have that urge to pull back on that. Um, but I think because my client that sticks out in my mind that I still have, she did a transformation challenge. I was her coach through that. She did amazing. She did it once, didn't sign up again. I took her through like a reverse diet. She did a bodybuilding show, her first ever bodybuilding show. I got to coach her through her entire pregnancy after that. And so it made like that transformation challenge in turn really did change her life in terms of health and fitness and how she looks at it and what she does now in her life and with her child. And so I think there's some really good that can come out of it. But I think anybody listening, like, don't be scared of like, oh, this is a scam, I'm not going to sign up for it. Like, if you've never done one and you want a community and you need a way, like some people on their own just don't have it in them to just step in that gym or, learn macros or whatever it is. I think it can be a really good way to get into health and fitness or back into it, whatever it is. But if you find that you've done like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them, and your life is still the same in terms of health and fitness, there might be a different direction you need to go, or just realizing it's no longer beneficial. I don't know how to kind of word that where it doesn't sound bad, but at the same time, everybody can spend their money however they
you
want.
you reach a point of diminishing returns with anything, and you also reach a point where, going along the lines of, like you were saying about, oh, heroin, anybody who did just one. Yeah, I think about there was a Guns N' Roses song called Mr. Brownstone where the line is, I used to do a little, but a little wouldn't do it. So the little got more and more. You can apply the same thing to dieting. Like, well, hey, I did this crash diet and I lost a bunch of weight. Well, we know what happens is that extreme actions yield extreme results, but also extreme actions typically yield unsustainable results. So what now happens is, well, hey, this thing is ended after, 60 days, 90 days, 100 days, whatever. Well, now what? It's kind of like that post-show blues where you go, shit, I was working towards this thing and I was really excited. Now it's over and done with. Now what do I do? Well, let me jump into another one. Well, the first time that you did one of these, you probably lost, 20, 30 pounds, maybe more, depending on what you did. So now your expectation is, well, I'll jump immediately into this other one and I'll lose another 20, 30 pounds. When the reality is your metabolism is adaptive. Your metabolism is going to adapt. You've given your body an extreme low amount of calories. Let's say you're the average American male and you went down to 1,500 calories for the last, you know, 3 months. Now what happens whenever you do another 3-month challenge or a 4-month challenge and you're adapted to 1,500 calories? You've got to either increase your steps, and look, 10,000 steps a day, that's a very healthy amount. I'd even argue 12,000 is on the higher end of normal for some people, depending on their job. But whenever you start getting to, oh, I'm going to do 15,000 steps a day, or I'm going to do 20,000 steps a day, and it starts to become a challenge with you and other people, well, that community just drastically shifted to where now the people that are doing 10,000 on their first go around, they're seeing these people that it's, yeah, I'm doing 20,000 steps, I'm eating 1,500 calories, or they see a woman eating 1,100 calories, and you've been doing this now through 2 or 3 of these in a row, your metabolism's going to adapt and it's not going to be sustainable. What's going to happen the first time that you decide, yeah, let me go on vacation with my kids and I want to enjoy a normal fucking vacation, not worrying about what am I eating? I'd say that's a normal part of the human experience. Go on vacation, go have the burger from the place that the locals recommend or try the seafood place or whatever. And you shouldn't have to worry about calories 24/7, 365. But these challenges don't teach that. They don't tend to teach the practicality. So like one one idea that I wanted to see was the opposite of a fat loss challenge. Let's see a strength challenge or let's see a metabolic building challenge. Hey, you're starting off, this is your strength. Let's see who can increase their bench press the most or their squat the most or pound for pound, who got the strongest. But
And those
here's the
things are
problem.
hard to do, like, remotely. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It because there's this other kind of piece of it, right? Like, who's overseeing it? What date are they looking at? Who's doing what? Because you're saying numbers that, like, for us are probably pretty much bare bones, absolute bottom ends for calorie intakes for people. But there are plenty of people that are like, okay, cool. Well, that person did 800 calories a day, and this person did 30,000 steps a day. And I think what complicates those things for a lot of the people, I'll say even just in the immediate, is there's that shiny prize that, there's cash on the line or whatever it is. And you've seen all the other pictures of other people, but most of the time they're not talking about what happened to them after the fact. Were they still the same a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, right? And what
Like
did
the
they
biggest
have to do to
loser.
get there? You know, because
so
here's another thing: you can't drug test people for a transformation challenge. There's no way. And so, like,
exactly.
those strength things, I love them. They're wonderful things. And those are things that I like for people to have as goals and to deal with in my coaching stuff as well. But that one's like, it's hard to do that, like, realistically, right? So there's this other factor of, okay, well, even in when we want to, like, I think even it out with the positive things and these other ideas, like, how do we realistically make that happen in a way that's still fair if there is, in fact, like, that challenge mentality of it's a competition and there is a reward at the end of it?
Right, because even now for a fat loss challenge, right, or weight loss challenge, whatever you want to call it, well, here's the thing, anybody can go on any of the research peptide sites and you can order semaglutide, tirzepatide, retatrutide, carglutatide. You can order any of these things. And just like if we did a strength increase challenge, yes, the person who suddenly says, "Hey, I'm going to get a prescription for testosterone. I'm going to inject 400 milligrams per week, twice a week. I'm going to do
B-ball every day, baby.
exactly hop on the trend train." You wouldn't be able to track it. What are you going to do? Have someone video themselves pissing into a cup? That's pornography. Like, come on, I'm not watching people piss.
More signups.
18 and up only.
But for a fat for a fat loss challenge, well, you can't prove or disprove, well, who cut the food noise and the hunger down by going, oh, let
Yeah.
me get on tirzepatide, let me get on, Mounjaro, Zepbound, whatever. You can't prove that today. What are you going to do? You're going to start looking at people. Okay, well, show me your arm, show me your abdomen. I want to look for track marks, baby. Like that's that's not going to happen.
And we're right
So
back
for
to heroin
me,
again.
wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend. So like the I think that the day and age for these, it's hopefully
I
coming
feel
and
like we
going.
should have evolved from this by now. Like that's how I feel about it because
Yes.
specifically remember being told um I had a signer and it was somebody wanting to diet who was in no spot to diet. They had already paid to do it. They were in no way when I got their starting information that I was going to in good faith put them through a diet. Not gonna do it. So I was told to basically go ahead and take their money, go ahead and let them pay, tell them later they can't do.
I always
And
tell people
to
straight up.
me, like I think that's where I have an issue is most transformation challenges, I think, like the very first one someone does, I think, like you said, Phil, they have good intentions, good bones. But what tends to happen, I think, with like very popular challenges is the people, the face that is pushing it and making the money, they're not even a part of it. What initially was, I want to help people, I want to change people's lives. And I think that that initial intention is true, and honest. But unfortunately, and this is a lot of the fitness industry, is once people taste money, good money at that, sometimes that's where it turns. And I think that's what happens eventually is they're no longer involved in it outside of making the money from it. And then you have people trying to step in and kind of help these people. Sometimes they may not even have ever, like, I know when I first took, I had never worked with anybody in a transformation challenge. I probably bothered Phil so much with stupid ass questions because I didn't know. But it's like, I guess at the end of the day, I don't get the overall point just because there is so much free information online, so many ways to get accountability through social media, through, I mean, I get on Reddit a lot. There's a lot of people that just like, they don't even know who each other are because it's all anonymous, but like they help each other and they motivate each other. And I think there's other outlets out there that are more beneficial. But it's weird because there's also ones like the 75 Hard where people really get in this like tight knit community about it, right? And they're like die hard. And so I go back and forth between like, is it helpful? Well, maybe it is, because then you do have all these people, but then like usually, and I don't, like with 75 Hard, those are some pretty strict rules. Like
For
I've
sure.
never done it myself and I'm not thoroughly like every point, but they are some pretty like,
Like you gotta do an outside exercise for
yeah,
30
like
minutes
2 workouts a
every
day.
day.
Yeah,
Gotta do
no
another
cheat
one for
meals,
like
I think.
45 minutes.
So, like, those are pretty unrealistic expectation and standards to hold long term. Um, I just don't, I guess because I've done and I've seen so much with clients and myself, put myself through stuff. I just, at the end of the day, I think it's kind of a waste of time and money where if you just started really small and said, like, hey, I want to get healthier, I'm going to find a community of people. And then maybe I just start drinking water more. And then maybe I just go on more walks.
What's funny is it started off as 75 hard and now it's 75 medium and 75 soft or light or something like that.
Wait, is this real?
It
I didn't
has
know
to
if
be
it was.
light. There's no way they would do 75 soft.
I mean,
There's
I
no
mean,
way.
most
75 hard,
55-year-olds probably are so.
both ends of the spectrum.
Look,
But and again, like you look and you go, okay, well, what's ultimately the motivation? Now, I believe I could be wrong, but I believe like that particular one is free to enter, but there's a lot of things that are promoted, or it might be like there are a lot of supplement companies that, yeah, it's free to enter our thing as long as you've bought X amount of products. And then we're going to give you the workout program and the meal plan and, join the community, right?
well, I mean,
So,
if their brand or their reach is big enough, it doesn't even necessarily need to be that. Like, it could just be like, oh, cool. Well, I know by being in this and being a sponsor or whatever that it will bring me, like, just with anything else, it will bring you business. There's a reason people sponsor events.
right. So what I found is just like
Oh, I
anything
just
else.
looked it up. I didn't even know from what all this entails. It's a lot more aggressive than I thought even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Like, I wouldn't even do this, and I've been doing fitness for a while, and this
Th-
sounds, like, terrible. I don't wanna do any of this.
There are so many people that I've had that same conversation with. They're like, I'm doing 75 hard. And I'm like, please, God, don't. Please don't.
Right. Like you're literally doing it's 2 workouts a day. One of them has to be outside.
45 minutes. You have to do 2 45-minute workouts, one taking place outdoors.
Like,
No alcohol or cheat meals, which means by the time you get to that 75, you're gonna just stuff your face like it's post-show. 1 gallon of water a day. Read 10 pages of nonfiction self-help.
Boo reading.
And take daily photos. How old is that gonna get real quick? Daily? That takes, like, people don't understand. It takes, like, especially if you gotta leave with kids or work or whatever it is.
oh my gosh, so that's the other thing. Like, even as a little side rant, but like if somebody is not doing like contest prep, you want to take a photo once a month? that's still better than what most people do. You don't let up taking a photo because let's be honest, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass to be like, oh shit, I gotta grab my phone, bring it to the bathroom, prop it up, or I gotta get a light. Like it can be a bit of a pain in the ass.
But it can be emotional too, like, depending on the person and where you're at in your journey and, like,
Yeah.
where you're coming from, like, that can be a huge burden to say, I need you to take a lot of pictures for me all the time,"
Yeah,
and
I have
especially
some
with
people that
not a lot of clothes on.
yeah,
Like,
I have
fuck
some
that.
clients that don't because it affects them. So I'm like, okay, like once a month or when you're, or I say take them and keep, you don't have to send them to me. Keep them for your own personal before and after because I don't. And the same way with daily weights, because usually I like a daily weight from clients, but if it causes you mental distress to look at that number, the up and down, or another, anybody listening who does that with weight, if you have a digital scale that syncs to your phone, put tape over, you can't even see the weight. Take it for a month or two. It'll all go to your app. You don't have to open it. But then when you're in a good headspace at any time, you can go in and look at your weights because sometimes that's an easier than seeing it every single day.
So I also love those for people that are, like, ADHD, all ADHD, so anybody that's, like, neurodivergent, because doing those things, like, fucking logging it sometimes is an absolute fucking nightmare. So, like, anything that you have where, "Okay, I just step on it, it's gonna be in my phone, it's gonna upload to the thing, I'm fucking good." Like, those things can be huge, in terms of having some semblance of data, but I
Yeah.
digress.
That's so we bought the Withings scale because it was just pain in the ass even for myself. And that's the great thing with, I know Kaylee, you use Trainer Eyes too, right? Yeah. So like it integrates, like I don't have to touch my phone one time to pop my weights in. I mean, I love it. I love the simplicity of it. But, back to what for me, my biggest problem with a transformation challenge is that it doesn't help. If you think about who's it aimed towards, the average person is looking at it and they're going, man, I got all this weight that I want to lose. And I see these before and afters. Well, a lot of these people are damn near like it's their side hustle. It's almost like they're a professional yo-yo dieter because have a fun little 5 minutes. Take any transformation challenge photo winner that you see and do a reverse Google image search and try to find something with 90% accuracy. And you will see several people that they just bounce around from one to another, and they know how to manipulate the lighting of their photo. They know how to
I never even
manipulate their
thought about
costume.
that.
Yep. I mean, literally, like look at me. Ready?
So
Like
it's not even just that, like, so if you've ever cut weight for a fight, a powerlifting meet, or any kind of weight sport, it's the same thing. So I could cut weight and say normally without trying, like a really light, easy weight cut, I could go from 183, 184 down to weigh in at 176. And then the next day, after I've had pizza and a ton of Gatorade and Pedialytes, I'm like 192. So, like, if I can pad my weight 10 plus pounds within a couple days or a day, like, I can weigh in for my first weight padded way up. That makes it really fucking easy to be up 5, 10 pounds on what I've lost right off the bat. And judging that, I would see that all the fucking time. Like, I could tell this person's pretty lean. They obviously went overboard. They're like sticking their fucking stomach out. You can tell that they're just like backed up and they haven't shit in like 2 days. Like, all the tricks. And I was like, "Oh, well, this is pretty obvious to me." But those are things that, like, when you've been around it and you've done what we've done for so long, you're like, "Yeah, that."
the posture alone, like how many people naturally stand and like, okay, you're kind of trying to poke your butt out a little bit. A lot of people overarch. If you look at people's
I
posture, you
see
see
this a
their,
lot with female
and it's
influencers.
like, hey,
A lot.
go back to a neutral pelvis, and suddenly, both from the side and from the front, you look leaner and tighter.
A lot of
J-
influencers promoting gut health protocol plans. You see this so much. You're like, stop. The lighting's not the same, or stop. Your posture is different. But the average person, they don't honestly, I don't think they catch it. We've just seen it so much that we know. But it's really easy to manipulate people visually who just don't don't know.
You can, if you can't tone it, tan it. Like that was another one. Remember, there'd be these
Yeah.
transformations, and it's like you just got 3 shades darker, and you look
People who
leaner.
would tan and wanted me to peak them for the last pictures of the
Can you
transformation
water
challenge. I'm
deplete
like,
me?
you're not gonna peak like a bodybuilder anyway because your body fat percentage isn't low enough.
Yeah, I
Right.
always refused to do that. I never
Yeah.
would pick anybody. But I did have
So
one person that was like second that literally was stage ready for women's physique. She was a master's women's physique pro. And she got second because she wasn't marketable enough to take first. She was
that's
too jacked and lean.
right. That's the other thing is like people that are starting out, they see what is potentially an actual bodybuilder that they just used these, and it's become common practice, unfortunately, where, hey, let me do this to offset some of my expensive prep. Like, especially if you look at the cost of a bikini now, especially if you look at the cost of heels, if
Hair,
you're looking
makeup,
hair,
tan.
makeup, jewelry, hotel, flights,
It's an
expense
everyday
for a
life.
coat.
You're just discussing my everyday life. You know how expensive it is to look like this?
Look, not all
Well,
females are like that. I can tell you I'm married to one.
Well, we can't all be naturally beautiful without spending a bunch of money, okay?
She is naturally hot as
Fuck
fuck.
you, Jillian.
You're
No, I'm
right.
kidding.
but like the average person will not catch that. Look, this person's before on, oh, look at this person who won this or they got second place or whatever. They won't catch that before was just the very end of someone's off season, that just like they probably know how to manipulate their posture, they know how to manipulate the lighting, they know how to manipulate, how much water they've had, how much sodium they've had, how much food they've had to get everything more bloated, and how many people just focus on the abdomen, you
Yeah.
know, people will see that and go, wow, I could do that in 90 days or 100 days or 75 days. When the reality is the majority of transformations that will take place in a 2 or 3 or 4 month period
That's
are
not
not,
a long time. In the grand scheme of things, that's a real short amount of time for fitness.
So let's
it's
talk
true.
about let's mention this too, is that there will also be people that are, let's say, winners and people that show up that like they haven't worked out in like 2 or 3 years, but maybe they were a collegiate athlete or maybe they were a bodybuilder before that. So they've lost a lot of muscle mass. And for them, it's so much easier to get that back than it is to build it in the first place. So their transformations, their before and afters in these cases are way more emphatic in terms of what you see for the changes in body composition a lot of the time.
Yeah, you
Or if
sounded
they're
like
real
so.
new postpartum, they're gonna drop weight faster. It's gonna be a more because I know like my postpartum, like 3 days to a year, is very dramatic visually, but I was postpartum, right? Like, yes, I did lose the weight, and yes, I did body recomp, but it happened a little quicker than it would for the average person because I was postpartum. That wasn't my standard body composition.
Yeah. Postpartum might be my favorite because like if you're producing, like that takes so much calorie value to do. So I feel like you get to it's for most it's so easy to diet on a higher calorie intake to where we're not influencing production in a bad way, but see really, really nice response in terms of getting back to where you were prior to pregnancy.
The only kicker there is if you're breastfeeding, your hormones have not leveled out and will not till you're done. So depending on someone's hormonal fluctuations, I know for me, I lost when I was breastfeeding, but when I stopped, I lost at a faster rate because my hormones could level out.
So
Both pregnancies
I have
was
not
that way.
encountered that one yet.
Yeah, it was that way for both of my pregnancies.
Yeah. I mean, and it ultimately comes back to what's your metabolic health. Like, someone
And
who's a,
lifestyle,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like because
Look,
like we talk about the metabolic health, and yes, the metabolism does change, right? Like as you lose weight, you have less cells to upkeep. Your metabolism will drop down a little bit. There are some things that can happen with the dieting where like maybe thyroid hormone is impacted, but it's not as large of an impact on actual total metabolism as you think. The big thing that also happens is your lifestyle changes. You don't get up to walk the dogs as much. You don't do X, Y, Z. You don't talk with your hands as much when you're dieting really hard. And so like this is one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is that you might keep those habits for a little while after the stuff is done or during and have that success. And then you're used to, okay, well, this is what I need to eat. And then all of a sudden you stop doing those things because life happens. You were somebody before that, right? Those things don't just fucking disappear. And now maybe we're back to some things that we used to do or didn't used to do, and we're not doing them anymore. And so now, like, instead of okay, cool. We got 14,000 steps a day during the challenge, but realistically, before that, we got like 7,000 steps a day, and now we get 9,000 steps a day. There's still a big change there in terms of your expenditure. Your metabolic output is going to be impacted by that fairly significantly.
So what I feel like a lot of the big missing pieces for a lot of people that are thinking about doing these challenges, that they do have a long way to go. They do have a journey in front of them. And this is thinking from like my own personal journey. Like if I would have taken 300 plus pound 16-year-old Phil and just been like, hey, walk 15,000 steps a day, eat 1,700 calories, you're going to work out 5 days a week without fail, and all you're going to do is just focus on this. I would have, if I would have stuck with it, I would have absolutely been successful for a short term. But what it doesn't fix is the long term or the deep rooted stuff. The majority of people that I work with are people that they do have a long journey in front of them. It's people that they have a long history of emotional eating, of yo-yo dieting, of, hey, I'm used to always being, I'm used to being the fat kid. I'm used to, hiding whenever it's time to take a photo. That's a lot of people who I work with. These challenges don't help to address a lot of the root issues of, well, hey, I'm sad, so I'm going to get a bag of, like Chips Ahoy or whatever.
Right, because
Well,
that's
hey,
the easy quick fix that gets a little dopamine hit so that we feel a little bit better.
right. And I work with a lot of people where it's, let's try to find something that you can do. Let's try to work on a lot of your root causes for why are you here in the first place. Because as we know, like there's not a weight loss problem, there's a weight regain issue. And none of these, just like with Biggest Loser, none of these types of challenges ever talk about the number of people that they have a regain massive problem. I mean, after I left, you know, a former winner reached out to me and I worked with him and his wife for quite a long time because they're like, man, we felt so good, but then, got busy with the kids. We got busy with, career changes, with promotions, with a move. And next thing we know, in less than a year, right back to where we were. Well, you never addressed your habits. You never addressed the fact that, hey, whenever you've had a stressful day, the first thing you do after walking through the door is reach for a bottle of wine or, have a couple of beers. You never address the problem of, man, the kid's schedule is just really, really heavy during sports season. So, hey, you couldn't keep up with 15, 20,000 steps a day whenever you're at practice 2 days a week for this kid, 2 days a week for that kid. Plus, you're at the ball field all day Saturday. You're exhausted. You got to mow the grass now. You can't sustain all of those extremes. And you have to find, where does practicality meet optimal for, yes, if you're 100% in, you're all or nothing, your absolute best that you can sustain for 60 days, 75 days, whatever. That version of yourself can't be there 365 days out of the year for most people. There's a reason why bodybuilders don't walk around stage lean all year round.
I wouldn't even say most people. I would say, like, I think the only people I haven't met, and I can't say for sure, I haven't met anybody that I would classify as an emotionally or psychologically healthy individual who only lives at extremes all the time.
Right.
I mean, just saying that, I only live at my extremes all the time. Like that doesn't even it just sounds wrong.
Right. I'm all or nothing. I'm 100% or I'm 0%. It's like, hey, does that doesn't sound good. If that was my best friend saying like, hey, I'm either 100% living a healthy life or I'm, eating fast food and doing drugs. Whoa. You mean there's no middle ground?
Hey, you can do drugs without eating fast food. Thank you very much.
Doesn't have to be both. Yeah, I think, and with us saying this, as I'm like listening to all of us, I in no way want to make somebody joining a transformation challenge that first time might make or break somebody getting a healthy lifestyle. Honestly, sometimes that's exactly what they needed. But I feel like if you do a transformation or some sort of challenge, whatever it is, fall into fitness, transformation, 75 or whatever it is, if you do that initially and you're like, wait, I like this. I felt good. Like this isn't sustainable for me long term, but I actually do like what I dabbled in here. That's your next step where your two options there are the internet for free, where you can start to research more about food, about fitness, about weight training, or you can take a step that does cost a little more than an entry fee is maybe I'll get a coach for a month or two. Let them guide me a little bit, teach me about some nutrition, teach me about different lifestyle changes I can make. And then, because I know speaking, I'm assuming we're all this way, where I have clients that only come to me for a few months. And that's just to kind of get their bearings and learn how to train for what they want to do. And then they go on their way. I've gotten many emails where like, Coach, I'm so sorry, but like I'm good. Like you've taught me so much and like I can navigate now. Now I do have clients I've had for 5 years where they very well could do it on their own, but they like checking in. They like someone telling them, how to either macros, or I have some that are just training only clients. I helped them transform with nutrition years ago and they just want to keep me for training. And I think they like the back and forth each week.
They
Well, and
So
I
like
I
the
mean,
think
luxury of the Kaylee.
yeah, they dig me, I guess. Who knew? But I think that these types of things can have a really, really great, impactful thing for people. But I think if you find yourself, like if you're listening and you've done quite a few challenges and you still are pretty much where you were when you had your first challenge you did, they're probably not working for you. You could still do them. It's your money. But I think maybe trying a different route of something that maybe would work better for you, maybe something not so extreme and easing in. Uh,
So I think for me, it's all about like context, right? And everybody fucking hates it. Everybody hates, oh, context, Steven. It's all about gray area, blah, blah, blah. Some things are okay and some things are not okay for, different people. Bleh. Um, but we should be looking at things in long-term aspects when it comes to health and like wellness kind of stuff. And I don't even like saying wellness because it's so fucking like, I don't know, gross lately. I feel like with all the wellness influencers that are just fucking snake oils, but it's one of those things where it can be really good if you're in the right place, right? So if mentally you're in the right place, you're like, cool, this is going to be a short-term thing. I'm going to garner some ideas from this. I'm going to figure some things out that maybe I don't have figured out right now so that I can like use those to some degree to be in a better place and stay in a better place afterwards and make progress during. Like that's really cool. That's a very different thing. The unfortunately, the marketing of what they are is always that lose a fuck ton of weight in a relatively short amount of time so that you can win some cash. And so you have to go into it not allowing yourself to get caught up in that mentality and not allowing yourself to get up into the mentality or get caught in the mentality of I'm going to diet now. Oh, and then there's another one in a couple months. I'm going to diet during that one, and then there's another couple months, and I'm going to diet in that one, and I'm just going to fucking get into this thing because we all know, like, people have that short term, even within weeks. I do really good during the week, and then I fuck off hard on the weekend, and my weight doesn't move, or it's going up still. And it's like,
right.
but I'm so good during the week, and I'm like, yeah, because we're not solving the actual problem. Like the amount of obviously the vast majority of people that do those challenges either never even fucking enter like before and after photos or never submit. But they don't, and even a lot of the ones that do, they don't have big changes a lot of the times in terms of the actual physicality of things. And so
And
they're like,
that's
oh, life just happened and things happen. It's like, all right, cool. So how the fuck do we figure out instead of this hugely transformative, overwhelming thing to make it actually work to the best degree it can within your specific situation. Because that's the fucking trick.
and I think that's the knowing how these things work behind the scenes is like of the people that are doing before and afters, like 80% of them, it's not an extreme. It's somebody that lost like a half a pound to 2 pounds per week consistently for 9 weeks. You're talking about anywhere from or 12 weeks, whatever it works out to us. You're talking about somebody potentially losing as little as 7, 8 pounds, or
I saw
somebody
ones that were less than that, like in terms of submissions, like people that maybe they maintained or they gained a few pounds or they lost like 3 pounds,
right,
you know?
or
or
like,
they had a
hey,
body recomp.
yeah, but That's the majority, is the ones that if you were to put it on a thumbnail, it's not going to get any likes, it's not going to garner any interest. It's the very few and far between that come from the extremes, but again, it's a lot of people that they're damn near professional dieters, or they have a super crazy athletic background of some kind, or they've been training for years and they know how to just pose themselves properly. There's a lot of that stuff that ultimately the marketability of those 3, 4, 5 people is why they're declared a winner. Because what was always heartbreaking for me was after the challenges would end, I would get a handful of emails from people that it was, I worked so hard. I put a lot of time on my essay. I know that my journey's not done yet, but I really feel like, for what I've done, if we think about it for the average person, like I felt good until I didn't get any type of recognition. And whenever you're doing these challenges from that, extrinsic motivation, where it's something external that's driving, why are you doing this, instead of something internal, it breaks my heart because I know that person's going to just go right back to their old ways because it was never actually about a real transformation. It was about acknowledgement and admiration and money and all these other factors. Never mind, like, did your blood pressure potentially go down? Did you start actually sleeping well? Did you maybe improve your other relationships because now you're taking better care of yourself?
Also, for a lot of them, it was about like feeling seen and heard or celebrated. Because like, and this is a hard part because it becomes, and there's no way if you have a large scale thing like this that you can celebrate everybody who's made progress and done good things. And like, it's just not possible. Um, but what happens then is because it was a competition, and the one that broke my heart when you weren't there for this one, there was a guy that lost fucking 60 pounds. 60 pounds, life changing. Like that's what, that's a preteen. I don't know what age they're 60 pounds, but like that's a child, you
Pearl's
know?
9, she's 64 pounds.
But they were still around 300, you know? And nothing, nothing. And nobody else even said a word about him, except for me. I was like, this, do we not see this? This is insane. Um, and it's like, how the fuck would I feel if I like did this thing where it was like, okay, cool. The more that you can change, because that guy had more change than anybody else. Was he in a better, quote unquote, easier spot to have significant change like that? Probably, sure. Um, but because maybe you couldn't see his muscles the same, and he didn't have the lack of body fat still, or other things. Now this person, like, that could push them right back into negative habits again, in terms of, oh shit, well, I worked really, because he had to work really hard for that. There was
My
no
best wasn't
slacking.
good enough.
Yeah. And like that's a fucking feeling. And I'm not saying that we don't all experience that feeling in one thing or another. I felt that way with many things I've done in life. Like, oh, I did my best, it wasn't good enough. All right, maybe this one isn't for me. But like to let that happen to ourselves with our health, like that's a different fucking story. Ugh. You can't let it end on that heavy note.
Okay, Steven, look what you did.
Well, I had to do something. Like I was fucking off earlier, you know? Everybody's like, what's Steven doing when he's not on camera?
Yeah, so I don't, this is, I don't even know what to add after that. But I think that the important thing maybe is, which I've already kind of said this, is you're much, in my personal opinion, you're better off to I don't know. Do you think I want to take a poll from you guys maybe. Do you think you're better off to never do a challenge or to do a challenge?
So again, gonna piss some people off. I think that it depends on the person. If you're younger and you've just, hey, you're recently like out of school, out of college, whatever, you're kind of just getting rolling in your fitness journey. I think that you're going to be better off to just, hey, make a post in like a Facebook group or a subreddit of like, hey, trying to start off, what should I do? Right. If you're someone who is wired where you're trying to make a long-term change and you know that you're prone to comparison as the thief of joy, don't do one of these. If you're somebody that you have a history of yo-yo dieting, don't do one of these. If you're somebody that, you know, you've not done any type of a dieting attempt and you don't really have much of a reason or motivation, I think back to 24-year-old Phil. Look, I in a good routine with the gym, but just kind of half-assing some things. Like, yeah, I'm, semi dialed in on my nutrition. I could do better. I didn't have a wife. I didn't have a kid. I was just kind of fucking off in life. And something like this might have also coincided with, you know what, it gives me a goal to aim for and it gives me a deadline. And there's a sense of community there. Maybe I'm somebody who, life's gotten busy and I don't hang out with my friends as much. Sure, these can be great things for those people, but I think that there's a lot of people that they end up doing more harm than good whenever you look at how they're actually ran, when you look at what the actual motivation is for whoever is putting it on.
Yeah,
Me,
we've seen behind the curtain.
yeah,
Yeah, we've seen behind the pubes. Wait, that's not the curtain.
And I think too, like, I think there could be some benefit from, like, let's say you and 3 other friends are like, "Man, we really want, like, we need something to, like, get us back in the groove." Like, doing a challenge type thing with a few friends where you don't really care if you win, but you're all kind of doing it to kind of help each other, like, because you would all have the same training. It would be a way to, like, that's a cool group thing where that's kind of the point of the challenge, right? But you don't always know these people. But if you had a few friends, we're like, "Hey, we could all spend like 30, $40. We all have the same training," which I guess one of you could pay and then all have.
Yeah, and I would agree. So I think, and maybe the way to preface this is like, well, how many people do you know that have really been well benefited by bodybuilding? Because I've seen plenty of people that bodybuilding has been a very bad thing for their lives, but I've also seen
Even
a
why
lot
to
of
me.
people that it's been a good thing for their lives. And so the ones that it's been a good thing for their lives, it wasn't identity. It didn't run their lives. It wasn't everything that to them, even if they were really good and successful at it, the way that they approached it was very different. I think psychologically and mentally. And I think with these transformation challenges, the people who get the most out of it are not the ones who are doing everything so that they can win and get that cash. They can win and get that prize. It's the ones that are doing this as a way to have a more moderate, like, well, I'm going to do some of these things, but I'm definitely not going to do all of these things. You know, it has this meal plan, and I could go to the lower one, but I'm going to go to the middle one instead because that's more realistic. And, I think that's going to be a better overall option for me. Those are the individuals that I think truly get the benefit out of it. Um, but the hard part is those individuals don't get seen the same because the ones that get seen are the ones that are doing the crazy, wild shit that is not healthy and is not benefit. And so I think at the end of the day, that's my problem. It's not the transformation challenge itself or the idea of it or whatever it might be, but it's that we are, I think, singing the songs of shit that's not healthy, right?
You're using an unhealthy behavior to then have to make money and then keep doing that. Like, the only way a transformation challenge like somebody who puts it on a lot is going to keep doing it and be successful is if they have some extreme before and afters. The success 1000% is determined by having that.
And yeah, so I think that's my gripe at the end of the day is that we're not rewarding the things that truly, I think, give you the best, most realistic opportunity for long term benefits in terms of your health. We're rewarding the short term, go fucking crazy, do stuff that's probably not the best for your health. Sure, maybe it's not all terrible, but like you can't fucking do 30,000 steps a day for the rest of your life. Eh, And and I think celebrating that is not the way to make a positive difference for the majority of people. Because if I'm a normal person and I'm like, oh, fuck, I have to do 30,000 steps a day to fucking look like that or to get like that or to make progress or do these things, like I'm immediately dissuaded. And that doesn't even get into like the comparison factors for how we feel about our bodies, how we see ourselves, possibly like a um, dysmorphia kind of stuff that we know runs rampant in the physique sports. So we're bringing, I think, some of the I don't know. I hate just I don't know how else to say it other. We're bringing some of the most negative aspects of the health and fitness, quote unquote, into the limelight to be seen and celebrated by normal Joe and Jane or whatever the fuck the normal people's names
Yeah.
are.
Well, because
It's
it's
not realistic
easy for
anymore.
somebody to look at a 90-day transformation and be like, "They can do that. I've been trying for a year and I still look like this." Like, and that's nobody's fault. That's not a transformation challenge, put her on her's fault or anybody's fault, but that is something that happens, right? Because that happens even if I post a client's macros and they're like, "Well, how come they can look like that on that much food, but I look like this on less food?" Like, it's really hard. And I think what I don't know if this is what you're trying to say, Stephen, but I think there the bad, I think, or the negative outweighs the good on a transformation challenge in terms of what you're actually putting out there and how you're actually making people feel and what actual results are. I don't know if
Right.
any of
I
that
think
made
the
sense.
impact that we're making and putting out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think you can make a big impact and you can impactfully make a whole bunch of money, but I don't know that you're making any positive. And I hate to say it like that, but I don't know that the positive impact outweighs the negative impact of a challenge.
Yeah, not for me, at least.
Yeah, for me, I agree, and what what sucks about that for me is because I know how a lot of these people are because I've walked that path
Yeah.
myself, and it's very personal, and that's why for me, whenever I have the opportunity to run one, I'm like, "Great, I can be the change that I wanna see with these things. We can actually have, like, positivity and meaningful impacts." Then they just transform into nothing but money and marketing, and how can we market to make more money, and look, I'm a business owner. There's nothing wrong with making a profit, but you get to a point where it's like, Jesus Christ, isn't it enough? The,
He
the
was the
harm that
prophet.
you're doing, the harm that you're doing, like it far outweighs. So
Yeah, and I mean that's part of the fitness wellness influencer society like culture right now is make money, make money, make money. And that's a difference I think in terms of the belief structure. Like I don't think making the most money makes you the best person or the most successful. Um, I think that has been, for me, my opinion, something that has been grossly misinterpreted and overvalued in our society during my lifetime. um, that like money's gonna come and go. It's not even a real thing. It's just a fucking and maybe we're not either. But I always put a lot more value on what is the quality that we bring to people's lives and change, and that should be the thing that's most important. Um, and across like be a six-figure coach, make this money, be a business coach, blah blah blah, let me teach you how to market and do all shit. And it's unfortunate that we know so much about how the human brain works and how to manipulate what people see and think to do those kinds of things and to make money off of them. um because like great. And I know a lot of people who make a lot of fucking money who are very fucking unhappy as people.
And I think something people don't realize, I'm sure you guys are the same, but as you age, you realize like, yes, we all need to make money. We all need to pay bills, but eventually all you're doing, especially if you're getting rich off taking advantage of people, but at a certain point with money, you're just getting better cars, better houses. You're not changing your quality of life because a lot of people, and I've seen this, I've seen a lot of people who make a lot of money in the fitness industry, they're no happier, but they might have shinier cars or bigger houses or whatever it is, but their actual quality of life hasn't changed. But I think we all get caught up in that, right? And social media is really hard on that. But like from a female's perspective, seeing girls with like 5 different Louis Vuitton purses, I can't understand the consumerism of it. What benefit that has, but they will shell gut protocols and whatever they got to do to get that bag, literally.
I only have one coin purse.
I know, coin purse. You're so cute. You have one coin purse. But I think
no,
unfortunately the fitness industry is and not just fit, every industry is full of greedy people, right? That will do something in a not so ethical way because they want to make money. And that's just we can't change that. We can talk to people like we are now and try to help them the best way we know how, but
I don't even say it's always in an unethical way. I just think that a lot of times it's not in the best interest of the Well,
Yeah.
like maybe it's not unethical. Maybe you're not doing something that's actually wrong, but it's just not something that's actually helping people or providing like the benefit that maybe people associate it with, or that kind of idea.
Yeah.
All right, fucking A. All right, well we
We
spit.
get to end this on a high fucking note, didn't
Well,
we?
I had prepared a blind rank if y'all are
Yes,
interested.
I think we shall do that.
All right, fucking A. I got time. I don't got to pick up my mother-in-law. Yeah, she can wait.
All right. 5 movies from the 90s. Blind rank.
Oh fuck.
First one up. This is a heavy hitter. Jurassic Park.
Fuck you guys. 5.
Yeah, I think I
Worth.
was gonna I liked it, but it wasn't like perfect. So I'm gonna go with 5 too.
But like it launched a whole like franchise that's still going now, and you have
Yeah,
the
but,
video
like,
games
Yeah, but
and
it's not
how
everything.
good.
many movies do you need of people getting ate by dinosaurs?
Or standing by a huge dinosaur turd.
You
Like,
know what's
okay,
gonna
cool.
happen? Everyone's gonna get ate. 1 or 2 people will make it out.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go 4.
There weren't even any laser beams, man. What the fuck are the laser beams? Dinosaurs with lasers. Come on.
All right, so you guys are going 5.
Missed
5.
opportunity.
Okay. Next up, Forrest Gump.
Ooh.
Ooh,
I'm gonna wait. I might surprise some people with this one.
3.
I'm gonna go 2.
So only because I know my favorite movie won't be on this fucking list, I'm gonna say a hard number 1. Hard one.
Hard
It's
one.
an it's an erection.
I look, the scene where he's at Ginny's grave and he's saying you died on a Tuesday. That break in his voice gets me every fucking time.
Also,
See, I
like,
didn't cry during Forrest Gump.
I don't know, Forrest Gump taught me a fucking lot. Well, which I don't know if that
I
says anything
mean,
about the
not
movie or
trust
about
women. I
me.
don't know what to teach you.
Like,
Life's
dude,
like a
like,
box of chocolates.
no, just like being a hard worker pays off much, much more than a lot
Yeah.
of people like to admit. And being
Be
honest
kind.
and upfront and being a good person can pay off a lot more than a lot of people like to admit. And you can still, in the face of what many would call adversity, be successful and make a huge difference in a lot of people's lives for the positives. And, you know, I thought that it just had so many nice nuggets about what a good person is and how simple and how I don't know, natural like that can be, like the innocence of a child. Like you can fucking carry those pieces of you still into adulthood to a large degree. And I thought that it was just fucking magnificent. I
I
love that.
It's got action, it's got romance, it's got funny points, it's got parts that'll make you feel deep, deep emotions. Like
Well, thank you
I
both for making me feel like a dick, okay? So fuck off.
Look, it might not be that much to everybody else,
You
but
hit me
like
that
for
hard,
me,
okay? Maybe I'm a shit human.
there
On with the
there's
next.
there's only one other movie for me, so I'm in the same camp as Steven. I'm going number 2 just out of hopes that my number 1 makes it, but I know it's not going to. All right, next up is The Matrix.
God, I wish I could keep that for 5.
really?
I
No
guess
way.
I'm going my 4.
I love The Matrix. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna go. Fuck. So I think The Matrix, in terms of popularity, was fucking huge, right? Obviously, there were like they did the trilogy and all the other shit. Um, because there are other movies I enjoyed more, I'm gonna put it at 3.
I'm gonna give it my so let's hear. I used Jurassic Park for my 4. I'm gonna put The Matrix at my 3. So I've got 2, 3, and 4.
I only have 1 and 2 left and a limp dick right now. So let's see what these are.
Get a little blue
What
chew.
what you don't know is Kaylee has done way more bodybuilding drugs than you think.
Uh oh.
Fuck.
All right. Next up is Titanic.
Ooh, I love this one.
It makes me
Number
mad that I
1
can't put
for
this as 5.
me.
So I do have my 5, and I'm putting it at 5. For me, I was at a very formative age, and there are 2 scenes that every boy in the 90s will remember from that movie.
The boobies. The
Boobies.
boobies.
You can't put your hands on a frosted window without thinking of Titanic.
Oh, I mean, I know it makes me think of something. I didn't realize that's what it was.
Um, Also, that fucking old lady when she threw the fucking necklace in, why would you do that?
Well,
Bitch.
also, like, she's just reminiscing on some booty call she had while she was still fucking engaged, too.
But I
With a
still love the
homeless
movie.
dude.
I love it.
Like,
It's like,
hey,
ah.
I banged a homeless dude one time on a boat.
And he laid that dick down so fucking good, I still think about it when I'm fucking 80 and he died in the fucking frozen water.
But I'm still gonna throw this fucking necklace away instead of giving it to my daughter so she can make a, have some money. Fuck it.
Rose, you bitch.
I can only do 4 because that's all I have for the
I'm
low.
going number 1. I liked that movie. It's so long too.
All right. So let's hear. I've got one remaining.
I have my number 2 remaining.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2 for me just by fucking default.
Better not be something stupid.
At least it's not gonna be Titanic.
It was like lit up. I love that movie. All right. The final one, Shawshank Redemption.
Oh fuck. Oh, well, you know what? I'm glad that's number 2.
That's a good movie. Like I feel like I don't even remember it, but I feel like
What?
You better learn some fucking lessons if you haven't seen
man.
it. You better watch it and fucking
I've
learn some
seen
life
it.
lessons.
I just don't really remember it. I'm Googling it.
Oh, Brooks, whenever he's like, the world went and got in one big damn hurry, and he carves Brooks was here before he hangs himself. Like, oh,
Yeah,
God.
It's
it's
been a
so
long
fucking
time.
depressing.
Andy Dufresne and
I mean,
the
I think you need
sisters,
to
like,
take into effect male versus female here. Obviously, I was so thrilled with Titanic. You both losers didn't even care about it.
Yo, there were boobs. We didn't not care.
oh, you kidding?
We were boobs and we were young boys. We were young
Right. I was
men.
like 7. Like, I remember distinctly, like, perfecting the amount of peak and gap in my hand. Cause, like,
I got
my,
it's my grandparents. Well, I was old enough. I mean, I remember going to movie theater, but I remember anytime there was something bad, my grandparents were like, "Cover your eyes." I'm like,
Yeah. Same. Cover your eyes.
"Holy
Nope.
blues, Gray."
my parents took us to see that movie like 3 different times.
Titanic.
Titanic,
Thank
yeah.
God my
It was a
parents weren't that
3-hour
involved
movie.
in my life.
That's a commitment. I
I
was also
remember
a huge Celine Dion fan, and so yeah.
we this is how popular the movie was in case there's any Gen Z listening. Like 3 or 4 years later, I'm in 6th grade, and for like our big recital at the end of the year was My Heart Will Go On. Like, song from a movie still had that much
It's
pull
got
like
such
3
high
years
notes
later.
in it. I think that sounded fucking terrible for
Well, I
like
still remember G G G G F G on viola. I still remember that. Oh man, I can still hit that intro like right now, rousing up my bow.
Oh, so like band you played it, not singing.
Orchestra, okay? Orchestra.
Oh,
High
that would have been
band.
pretty. I
Okay.
thought you meant singing. I'm like, kids cannot hit those high
No,
notes. That sound terrible.
no, this was some Frasier shit, okay? We did strings.
I wish I would have played an instrument. I thought band wasn't cool. And now I wish I could play any instrument. Just one.
I
We
tried to fight
started
the
the
band teacher
kids
when I was in high school. I literally wrote out a contract that I thought when I signed it, I was like, I won't press charges. Let's fight.
mutual combat.
My choir teacher slammed me into a bus because I wouldn't stop talking. I was a little, yeah, I'm a lot like I am now actually. But anyway, we did not get along. I wrote a lot of essays in music class. I got pulled out all the fucking time.
Love it. All right. And that's a wrap. I'm going to end it right there because we're at fucking hour and a half. Jesus.